Today is March 12th, 2024. Okay. And that last tape was hard. It was very hard to say. But I heard people in North Canton out saying stuff that even the place that told them not to say anything, they all know they have the login. Okay. That church had me raped before. And they had me raped this time. And they're the ones having people tell people that no one should want me again. See, that's what Bruce, after he did that horrible assault and raped me, said, now you've been raped by two men, no man will ever want you again. See, Strange even said that to me at 16 when I was pregnant with John. Okay? This is their mentality of destroying a human being and then trying to make them feel worthless. See, when I was young, I lived in my parents' house, and my dad was the vice president of a rubber company. I lived in a big house. My dad made us go out and work for everything, though. He made us go get babysitting jobs, anything kind of work that you could get. We got $2 a week allowance. And we were expected to do all the laundry, house cleaning, take the trash out, lawn work, and all the dishes. We each had different chores that had to be done every day. Okay? To get your $2. Okay? Then it went up to $5 a week. This is in the 80s, too. And he was making a lot of money as a vice president. Okay? Now, I want you to think about this. I had both Strange and Blaylock. Look at now, I'm like the nicest person in the world. I've had to work for everything. Okay? My dad taught me empathy, sympathy. He taught me all those things. Children don't come with the knowledge of right or wrong. You have to teach it to them. They don't know the sympathy, empathy, and how to treat people. You have to teach it to them. You make them be a good person till they're 18. If they don't want to be a good person, you tell them to get out. Okay? You have to make them be a good person. He made me be a good person, and I'm glad he did. Right? Now, I had both those ministers tell me when I was very young, you're a spoiled little brat. How am I a spoiled little brat? When I'm 11, 12 years old, going to school and going out babysitting 20, 30 hours a week, making money. 13, 14. How am I spoiled brat? Not taking my lunch money, not eating, saving up for clothes I want. How am I spoiled brat? I'm not. But I lived in a big house. And they were jealous. You think if you live in that big house, you're better than everyone. I never acted better than anyone. They did. And because my father had, they wanted to destroy me. You know, I'm going out to eat with an officer tomorrow. It's not the first officer I've went out to eat with. I've went out with several. A lot of them I just became friends with. He said, you know, the people that did this to you sound insane. He said, and I told him how they were trying to frame Ludick. He said, these people have a stupid way of thinking. If a judge really was involved, the police wouldn't stay out of it. They would arrest him. They're not above the law. These people are having a stupid way of thinking. See, that's where Mike DeWine's cousin, Sheriff David, he said, are your local police low? He said they should have arrested that agent for the way he talked to you and that retired judge. They can't do any of this. No one had a right in your home, and that agent cannot speak to you like that. Do you know tampering with a witness and a federal witness? It's a 20-year sentence. See, like the Tuscarora sheriff said, you cannot tell anybody not to believe somebody and not to help them. The police have already documented that the cartel framed me. Okay? And Dave hired the cartel. The cartel. The drug cartel. He hired the drug cartel. There is no excuse. Them people walking into that Federal Bureau of Investigators, that they did not arrest Dave and that whole circus show the first day for stalking and confessing they were having me stalked. On the first day, they admitted they had sodium pentothal reports. They were taping everywhere, including bathrooms. They had kiddie porn. They were drug beating, raping me, and that vet knew. And you can't blame the pathetic Vegas. You honestly can't. And he would have to look at them like psychopaths. Psychopaths do not feel sympathy, empathy, remorse. They feel happy, excitement, and joy. On a PET scan, a brain scan, that part of the brain don't work. They're more than serial killers. That's why, and they think it's genetic. That's where Phil, they said, was the lead car running late for the baseball game. Speeding with his grandson in the car. No one speeds with your grandkids in the car. Because they're your baby's babies. And you make sure nothing happened to them. Okay? Speeding with him in the car. Making his grandson giggle. Runs a stop sign. How many people, grandparents, run stop signs with their grandkids in the car? They don't. But somebody who don't feel fear and remorse would, and happy and joy of making his grandson giggle. And cost them both their lives. Was their father's fault. He was speeding so fast when he ran that stop sign. He hit the semi, it blew up the vehicle, and he got ejected. Tyler got ejected, and Phil got cut up in pieces. Running the shoulder. That's how hard they hit. That's how fast he was going. With his grandson in the car. Okay? It's like you're born stupid. Now, I want you to think. I had 2.5 years of surgeries. My muscles locked up. So much pain. Went to the wrong doctors. A bunch of crackpots. Falsely diagnosed me across the board. Made me swell from my feet to my brain. One doctor even said you have so much swelling on you, even though you're still urinating. It's almost like you need dialysis. Okay? It was a medication making me swell. My heart was getting off. I'm ended up in cardiac wards on calcium blockers, nitro pills. My thyroid shut down, my adrenal gland shut down, and my brain started swelling. They were lying so bad, they told me I had brain tumors and I needed part of my brain removed. And I'd lose most of my memory. I went to my doctor, and they wanted to put a bag on my side because my stomach was bleeding from all the pills. I kept saying, is it the medication? No. So I go to my regular doctor, and I'm like, what do you think of this? And I can't even walk by then, except for with canes and braces, because my legs are so swollen, they're popping out of place. Went from 105 to like 250, 275 in a year. And she's like, whoa, there's nothing wrong with you. I said, what do you mean? She said, your muscles locked up from that surgeries. The only thing that's wrong with you is you've got the golden ticket insurance company. You got too good of insurance. They're ripping it off. They're getting kickbacks. And she took a finger and wrote it out like a check and said, they're getting kickbacks from the drug companies. Okay? They're getting kickbacks from the drug companies, and they're getting anywhere from $200 to $1,000 kickbacks from each false prescription they're writing you. Now they're wanting to do unnecessary procedures. You get off that medication, it's the medication making you sick. There's nothing wrong with you. And I went to Dr. Eli. He told me the same thing. He said, I have to get you out enough pain to move those locked muscles. I get you off that medication because you're surprised how fast you get well. They both told me to get attorneys and sue them. They have almost killed you, and they wanted to take part of your brain out. It's medical malpractice. Get an attorney and sue them. They almost killed you. Okay? He put me on fentanyl patches. Okay? First month I lost 30 pounds. By the second month, my brain swelling was gone, my thyroid, my adrenal gland started working, my heart was beating fine. I just had to wait for all that swelling to leave and those muscles to get strong enough that I could walk again. I had to learn to walk on numb feet. It was like boom, boom. Good thing I was young and stubborn. Okay? So, by the second month, I'm pulling myself around stores and malls. Third month, I'm driving a car. I started in November. By April, I went from a 24 to a 16. Everybody's like, we see you pulling yourself up and down streets, malls, stores, doing your own. You're going to beat this on your own. Go. Cheering me on. May 3rd, 2003 is when Phil pulls that cheesy stunt. Brian had to come tell us we're all at home. I have nothing to do with it. Finally get well in July. Took me 9 months. Eli was actually getting mad at me because it was taking me so long to get well. I had all that swelling. Okay? People get well at their own pace. By November of 2003, a year later, Tim was cheating with Katie, and Linda was following around my sister. She was married to him. That strangest kid. Okay? And she got caught. She came up to me at church. I was following again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. I'm like, great. Thanks. Well, Strange made up that lie by Sunday. You were faking through all that bullshit. It was like a 4-year thing. It was ridiculous. It'd take a Nimrod to believe that. Okay? It's documented medical malpractice and documented medication errors. Okay? Now, did it have anything to do with Phil running a stop sign? No. I just went to their church. But it interrupted everybody. People were complaining. It's like people worship them here. It's appropriate to drop off flowers, food, small gifts the first 2 weeks. After that, it's a little uncomfortable. By a month, it's really wrong. It's 6 months into it. They're wanting to plant trees, plaques, and they worshipped them. And they were getting all this attention, and it interrupted their attention, so they wanted to kill me. They're millionaires, of everybody feeling sorry for them. I want you to think about that. They waited 15 years to try to kill me. Even women have talked. It did interrupt their attention from everyone. That's why they tried to kill her. It is the psychopaths. They took all their hurt and pain, and they just decided to put it on her and try to kill her. I had nothing to do with it. And Strange making up a shitty lie on me, discredit me and get rid of me, so I wouldn't be around because he thought I caught his kid in adultery. And it'd take an idiot to believe that one. Now I want you to think about that. It had nothing to do with it. And them having people trying to have me killed because her father killed her kid, that's mental illness. Now, and I have another question for officers. Now, I'm going out to eat with an officer tomorrow. Now, like I said, it's not the first officer I went out with. But he even told me he knows in strip clubs they do oral sex and then sex in the back. Police arrest prostitutes for doing sex acts in a car. Why don't they arrest strippers? They're openly doing sex acts in a strip club and in the back room, prostituting themselves. They're prostitution rings. Why are they legal and prostitutes aren't? I'd like to know that. And did they ever think, with all these strippers helping out, the people they took, do you ever think that maybe some of these strippers are some of the human trafficking victims? Down in Florida, they started going through the massage parlors and they found people they had took and were making them do sex acts in the massage parlors that they were keeping captive. Do you ever think some of those strippers are some of the victims? That's a good question. And I told you, with them trying to frame Ludick, I told him about that. He said these people have a stupid way of thinking. If a judge was actually committing crimes, the police are to arrest him if they can prove it. No one's to stay out of it. That's stupid. That's where Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin are your local police law. They should have arrested that agent for the way he talked to you. It's badgering, obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, tampering with witnesses. It can be a 20-year sentence. Okay? And they should have arrested that retired judge. It wasn't a retired judge. They were framing Ludick so bad. They had Alex dress up in a beard and a robe and a wig and walk around him like this, acting silly, making him laugh. In the back, I found out they were getting in the back of places telling people they were there to protect me. And they were letting them in the back. Don't do that. They don't have a badge. They don't get in the back. Okay? But to frame that judge and then told everybody they were friends and he was letting them get away with crimes. He didn't know who he was. There was big drug bust between Ravenna and Canton in 1718, heavy sentences, where they try to blame Stephen. Ludick didn't change out the name Blacks. They kept calling him Stephen. They kept saying Judge Stevens told this to her, the judge over a divorce. And then they said, well, Ludick's friends with retired Judge Pete. He didn't even know who that guy was. Yeah, they said they wanted a reliable witness. They went to that judge, asked him who that was in that beard and robe. He'd seen him. He'd seen him, but he didn't know who he was. He was laughing at him for being silly. They went to that extreme to frame that judge. For the, like they said, they were using, the drug cartel was using me as a pawn. We're getting even with the courthouse. I'm going to upload this.